community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
Come on, man. And with the local DDC news, Ellen Cool J with a twice-a-week comeback. But tonight, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm watching my pants. What the fuck is the fear? Making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to my face go boom, explosion. Overpowering, over the competition. I'm towering.
Happy Monday. Welcome in. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here live on KBLA Talk 1580. This is the show where we get into all the trending topics and headlines in entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture. I am your host, Jill Munroe. I hope that you are coming off of an amazing weekend. I know that you're excited because, as always, we've got a lot to talk about. It's Monday, so that means that everything that percolated over the weekend, and it was a lot, including what went down today, is on the agenda for tonight. Of course, I'm not alone. I have a guest contributor tonight, TV and film critic Jeandra LeBeauf. She's going to help me break down all of these trending topics and headlines and get to, the news, the topics, the information that will keep you captivated. So, let me give you a bit of a breakdown about what we have on the agenda for tonight. So I know you've seen it. The clips have been everywhere. The conversation has been deep. The jokes and the memes on fire. There was a brawl in Montgomery, Alabama this weekend. We're going to talk about it. We're going to examine and get into a little bit of what's happening with it and where it's expected things will go from that situation. We're going to talk about what happened with Jamie Foxx and Jennifer Aniston. Jamie Foxx posted something to Instagram last Friday, and Jennifer Aniston, for whatever reason, felt like it was threatening. And the situation took off from there. So we're going to get into that and look at the circumstances surrounding that and share our thoughts. We're also going to talk about Wayne Brady, host, comedian, actor. He has some news that he has decided to share today. We're going to talk about that and if there was even a need for him to make this announcement. We're also going to get into something Clippers star Paul George said about the Los Angeles area and the treatment of the LA Clippers. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Will Smith. He said that he believes now that fame has hurt his family. We're going to get into why and those comments. We're also going to talk about Sweetie and her new business venture and who was checking for her over the weekend. Yes, Sweetie is still dating YG, but somebody else has let it be known that he's interested. And we're going to talk about whether we think that is appropriate or not. We have our power move of the night. It's Monday, so we talk about business moves that get it active, get it popping for the culture, by the culture, all of those good things, making major moves. So we're going to get into that later on tonight. So all of that and more that you have to look forward to. But, of course, before we get started, I got a couple of conversation starters for you, just to keep you percolating, just to let you know what's going on in the world today. First up, we know that Skip Bayless has been looking for a foe to do battle with him across the desk from Undisputed since Shannon Sharp said, "Thank you, I'll take my cash and my accolades and take my business elsewhere." So we're waiting for Shannon to land, and we've been wondering who was going to sit across from Skip. Well, on Friday it was announced that Lil Wayne will be checking in on Fridays to talk sports with Skip during the season when it returns. And now come the whispers that among many, but the main contributor sitting across the desk from Skip Bayless will be none other than Richard Sherman, former Seattle Seahawk, the Legion of Boom. Sherman and Bayless famously got into it when Skip was still a host of First Take, and they had an exchange of words. Sherman has been hosting this last season on Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime, so they figured that the two facing off against each other will be something that we want to check in for and clock in, get up early to check out. I'm going to be honest, I'm not really looking forward to it. I don't feel like it moves the needle, but you got to do what you got to do, and supposedly that was a difficult situation for Fox to fill because there weren't a lot of takers for the role. So we'll see what happens with that. Also, over the weekend, the Pro Football Hall of Fame took place. It inducted the class of 2023, those members. There were 9 incoming inductees who were announced at the NFL Honors back in February. So just for a reminder, those people were Rondé Barber, cornerback and safety, Don Coryell, coach, Chuck Howley, linebacker, Joe Clico, defensive lineman, Darrell Revis Island, cornerback, Ken Riley, Joe Thomas, Zach Thomas, and DeMarcus Ware, linebacker and a defensive end. Revis and Thomas were the only 2 first ballot Hall of Famers in this class, and Howley actually waited the longest out of anyone in the 2023 class. This was his 45th year of eligibility. So shout out to those gentlemen. This weekend coming up, we have the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame, which we will see honored. Dwayne Wade is among those that will be honored coming up this weekend. So we'll get into all of that. You are checking out RSVP with Jill Munroe. When we come forward, we will have contributor Jeandra LeBeauf. We're going to get into the Alabama Sweet Tea Party, Fade in the Water. Those are some of the nicknames that have been floating around social media as far as what this brouhaha could be nicknamed. So we're going to get into that story, get into some of the details, all that and more. You are checking out KBLA Talk 1580 with RSVP with Jill Munroe.
Infusing us into fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
On a Mission Youth Travel presents the 2023 Morehouse Homecoming HBCU College Tour, October 25th through October 29th in Atlanta, Georgia. Open to high school students grades 9 through 12. For more information, please call 323-298-4779. Again, 323-298-4779. Students will tour Morehouse College, Spelman College, Clark Atlanta University, Alabama State, and Tuskegee University. Email info@onamissionyouthtravel.com. Again, info@onamissionyouthtravel.com. The HBCU tour price includes all meals, transportation, round-trip airfare with one checked bag, hotel accommodation, all museums, college tours, and admission to the Morehouse versus Kentucky State University homecoming football game. Spaces are filling up quickly, so call today to sign up. 323-298-4779. Again, 323-298-4779.
Dominique DePrimo for KBLA Talk 1580. Are you worried about your credit score? Well, look, you can rebuild it. There are lots of factors that go into determining your credit score, but one of the most effective ways to improve your score is to consistently pay your bills on time, over time. If you're forgetful about payments, like me, try automating your bill payments. That way all your creditors get paid on time, and you'll have freed yourself of trying to remember. Whatever your financial goals, U.S. Bank Access Commitment Initiatives can help support you in reaching them. Access your financial goals at usbank.com/access. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Services and solutions. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action is the youth component of the impactful CBO, known as the Community Coalition. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action has chapters at almost every South LA high school. Say Yeah, as they are popularly known, is located at 80th and Vermont, but serves young people all over South LA. Under the COCO umbrella, they train youth organizers, help underserved scholars prepare for college, and work with students to help them gain admission to top universities. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action fosters teen activism, where young people have led campaigns moving tens of millions of dollars to South LA schools and forcing officials to make AP classes available to students in under-resourced institutions. SCES scholars have taken part in the March on Washington, been published in major news outlets, and been elected to city council. Long before she was mayor, Karen Bass started the program when she founded the Community Coalition. To donate, volunteer, or enroll a student in South Central Youth Empowered Through Action, please visit cocsouthla.org. cocsouthla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are live, locked in with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. You're checking out RSVP with me. So, before we get into Fade in the Water, the revival, all of that, I have to welcome in my contributor for the night, my guest host, Jeandra LeBeauf, TV and film critic extraordinaire. You know, everybody was looking for you last week, Jeandra. They wanted to hear your commentary about the Spence versus Crawford fight.
Wow.
They wanted to know what you thought about it, expert, because you have been, you know, leading us up to the fight, giving us bits of information. So really quickly, share your thoughts about that matchup.
I never would have thought that. I knew that Bud Crawford is a talented fighter, but I did not expect him to put it on Errol Spence like that. He beat Errol Spence down.
Be down.
All the way down. It wasn't even competitive in the slightest. Maybe you might want to give Spence, if you're being generous, maybe round 2, something like that. And just as the fighters always say, there's levels to this. There's levels to this. He made Errol Spence look like he just came out of the amateurs. That was wild to witness.
Crazy.
Incredible.
Do you think that it's because Spence dropped too much weight, like he had to, you know, get himself down too far in order to match up because of the weight requirements?
See, that's a tricky thing about discussing what happens and what goes wrong in a fight, because it can be interpreted as being disparaging to the other fighter.
Okay,
right?
not doing that. We
So
are not
definitely
taking
not
it
doing
away
that.
from Bud Crawford.
Absolutely not.
He put it on him handily.
Like
Just
he
asking
stole
if
from
it
him.
could have been more competitive, perhaps.
I think that the weight is an issue for Spence. He's been at 147 many years. But then we'll go back to 2017. There's a video out there, Bud Crawford, when he was calling for the fight then, where he goes, watch, when I finally get the fight, they're going to say, oh, he stayed at 147 too long. Oh, he's been in too many battles, et cetera, et cetera. I think Bud was a better fighter that night. Spence has been at 147 too long. He's had 2 car accidents. He's had orbital retinal issues, detached retina issues. But Bud Crawford is just a different beast that takes a lot of joy out of whipping people to death.
Right. I saw on Twitter something about a story he was sharing about his mother when he was younger, and his mother would offer $10 to anybody in the neighborhood that could beat him, and the kids would line up, but none of them could beat him, so they never won the money.
He's bad. He's a wrestler, too. His kids wrestle. They're tip-top athletes, and Bud Crawford is just cut from a different cloth, man.
Well,
shout out to him.
Right. He put it down, so, you know, we'll look forward to seeing his next match.
Yeah.
Now on to some other superstar fighters who got those hands and showcased them. So if somehow you missed this story, in Montgomery, Alabama, over the weekend, lots of video. Angles like it was
Snyder cut version.
You know, highlights,
low
lights, slow motion, run it back, every angle you could think of a brawl that happened in Montgomery, Alabama. Basically, there was a ferry that was coming into dock. There was, I can't remember what the little boat is called that they were on, but
Harriet. Way to the water.
The little dune thing, whatever their little...
Oh, a pontoon.
A pontoon, that's what it's called, yeah. Was blocking the path. The black security guard asked the white owners to move it. They didn't want to. Words ensued. The black security guard must have sent the bird call, the signal up, because when he threw that hat up like Bobby Schmurder and got into position and got ready to scrap, it was on. And you see the other group of white men and women proceeded to jump the security guard who was just trying to do his job. And it looks as if we don't know if they were all bystanders or if some of them looked to be also employees of this ferry company, came to help one, and we've discovered the young man was about 16 or 17 years old, jumped off the ferry that was waiting in the water, fully clothed, swam to the dock, got out, and started whooping butt. And what I want to ask you, Jeandra, because you're a wrestling fan.
Absolutely.
Did it not look like some of those moves came straight from the WWE?
It was on.
When you were looking at, like, they watch too much TV.
And SummerSlam was this weekend, too, and that's exactly what it looked like. It looked like SummerSlam. It looked like a battle royal. All they needed was a trophy at the end. That was just so interesting for so many different reasons. We got stereotypes getting broken down. Yes, black people can swim. Learned that very well this weekend. We had people with chairs. We had all kind of good stuff. I've been laughing for the last 24 hours.
So there's a couple of things, though, that I want to point. And yes, black people can swim. As someone who was on the swim team in high school and was a junior lifeguard.
Go ahead, Jill.
We can swim.
Period.
We do not accept those stereotypes.
We rebuke.
And what I can tell you, once again, as someone who was on the swim team and, had to swim mile to warm up and things of that nature, there is no way on God's green and watery earth that I would be jumping into a body of water fully clothed, shoes on included,
all of it,
and be able to get to the other side, hop out, and then commits to throwing blows.
Shout out to that young man.
Right. That is youthful energy all day long. But I do want to, there's a couple of things that are ironic about the situation. One, about what happened. One, obviously, it has been noted that the area, the docks where the incident happened, at one point in time were actually docks where slaves were, and I know, serious tone, we're having a little bit of fun with this, but, where slaves were brought in to be separated from their families and go through all of that. So it's kind of interesting that we see this young man jump into the water to help, save his brotherhood, his brethren from this situation. It's good to see that, too. I wonder what would have happened if those men hadn't intervened to that security guard.
That's right.
Because the reality is, we're having a good time with getting our lick back and seeing that happen. But a couple of things could have gone wrong with this. That security guard could have lost his life, with all of them coming to beat him up. We also don't know, they could have been going to, we're very lucky that this didn't turn into another type of violence, on either side. So appreciative of that. And in all seriousness, there have been, there were some that were arrested. People were released or whatever after it happened, but there have been some arrest warrants issued, and the mayor of that city said they are taking it very seriously and, plan to investigate and potentially prosecute those involved. As they should. But it's also a reminder that, especially the guy with the chair that hit the white guy 3 times with the chair and then hit the white woman, I think out of everyone, even the, white men that started it, he's gonna do something.
Yes. Something's gonna happen to him. The chair thing, as much as we enjoyed it, and it was You can't hit people over the head with the chair.
No.
That's assault with a deadly weapon when you pick it up like that. But let us run it back to add that to the list of things that you cannot do. Being at your job in your uniform,
right,
while black. So let's just start there. Let's add that to the list of things that black people can't do in America. You may not be at work in your uniform enforcing the rules of what is probably a white-owned establishment if somebody wants to pop up in their white on their pontoon boat. The man, what killed me with all these angles was seeing that brother, knowing that the boat had to come in. He even tried to physically move their boat himself. You can see him leaning, trying to push it out so that the riverboat could go in. And these crazy drunk people, I'm assuming they're drunk. Yeah. I can imagine what was said during the course of that conversation. All our lip readers out there, please let us know. And it was just really disgusting. And 5, 6, 7, 8 of them dogpiled that man. And I'm glad, like you said, people didn't just stand by and watch. People started coming out from everywhere because we are a culture that likes to film things. But today, that day wasn't that day for filming. It was they got active.
I mean, something else to consider, because, the internet detectives are swift and they are fast. So they've already found, some of the pictures, allegedly, of some of the people involved on the white side.
Right.
And allegedly, the gentleman that started it, he owns a convenience store in the Montgomery area that is frequented by African Americans, by black people. So if that is true, I hope he has a plan B because, it probably can and will and should be impacted as far as who frequents the store, who is being a consumer for his product. So
the way that the internet joins like-minded people of all kinds, now in the aftermath that we've laughed and we've kikied and the memes keep coming, I really fear for those people down there too, because there are other people who are watching this who want to get their get back now too.
Right.
And we've got a minor young man who jumped in to help. We've got people who look to be a little older than us, some auntie and uncle aged, and there's a lot that this could be a powder keg for a lot of things. I hope we can all just laugh and people can hold their L that they deserved for starting it, but, be vigilant, people. Watch out for each other.
We will have to see. Well, the young man, he, of course, has garnered a lot of attention, and people have given him some nicknames. So I want to see what your thoughts are, which nickname you think that we should adopt for him. So there's, your generic black Aquaman, JJ Fish, Michael B. Phelps, instead of Michael B. Jordan, Jamichael Phelps, Captain Hook, Catfish Cuz, Kofi Kingfish.
That's a good one.
21 Tilapia, Lil Neymar, Shaquille O'Gills, and let's see. I think that's it. Andy, you have an opinion? You have one that's your favorite?
Michael B. Phelps.
Michael B. Phelps, that one works for you? What about you, Jeandra?
I like Auntie whose first video that I was come on, he's swimming across at the, come on, young buck. I'm cool with young buck.
Young buck. I also have Sea Murder, SEA, instead of an ocean, Sea Murder. So those are some of the names, we want to lift him up. I've seen several people talking about if he needs a lawyer, contribute to his lawyer fund. He should go to the prom next year in a spaceship, suited and booted and protected, and some money for his college fund.
Did you see the T-shirts? There's T-shirts.
They already have T-shirts. We are quick.
Low-key, I want one of those T-shirts, I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, they said frame it, put it. They said that when all of them came together on the dock, it was like the scene in Avengers Endgame, all assembling. All you needed was the little doctor. Why am I? Doctor, what is the doctor? Doctor Strange. No.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, where they come through the thing.
Everybody showed up from Wakanda. Everybody.
Thing. Yep. So that is what they were saying. It was glorious to a degree. It was tragic to a degree. And, I just hope that that security guard that was the initial victim, I hope he's okay.
I hope his employer supports him.
Yes, and I definitely hope his employer supports him and everything. So, if you have comments, because I don't think I mentioned this tonight, you are always welcome to call in. The phone lines, 800-920-1580. You can hit us up on our socials, KBLA 1580. You know that there's an app so you can download us, take us with you, clock in there. So there's lots of ways for you to tap in and stay in touch and share your thoughts. Tony Yayo says, luckily Kyle Rittenhouse type was not around. We're very lucky about that. So nobody wants to think about what that could have turned into.
I was surprised at how black their police force was.
Right. I think this is a black city, though.
Montgomery, everybody I know from Montgomery is, in fact, black, but, just the population, the percentages. I learned a lot about Montgomery in the last 24 hours.
Right.
I know they don't play that. I know that about Montgomery.
They do not. They stepped it up. So, kudos to them. Shout out to them. Again, I've seen some things about bail funds. Initially, there was no bail required for the jailed over the weekend of those individuals, but I'm sure if there is something needed as far as their defense or funds, a GoFundMe will find its way to the internet, and if interested and we come across it, we'll be sure to share it with you, right?
Exactly. I'm going to get a T-shirt. I don't know where I can wear the T-shirt, but I am going to get one for sure. And whoever's making those T-shirts ought to kick something down to the family.
Absolutely, to whoever the proceeds, because they turn that around quick.
Immediately. They got up on Teespring or one of those and said, let me put a little shirt together.
I wonder how many people have bought so far. Like, how fast does that spread virally when you do something like that?
I guarantee. I saw somebody wearing some type of body jewelry that was a chair already.
Well,
and earrings, too.
I think that was already, like, I saw the little purse thing. I think that was already a style. I can't remember who the designer was. I think that was already out there. But there are already videos. There's a reenactment video I saw. There's a video with kids doing, like, chair, karate, I don't know, practicing their moves. They're going to be using it as a weapon. We'll see.
But my favorite one was a guy who reenacted Malcolm X standing at the window with the shotgun, except he's standing at the window looking out the curtain with the chair in his hand. We keep that thing on us, and that thing is a chair.
Well, when we come forward, we'll have more on Fade in the Water, Brawl and Anderson. We're also going to talk about Jamie Foxx and Jennifer Aniston and what went down with them. Coming up, news and sports. You're checking out KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. In Alabama, more details are expected soon on Montgomery's riverfront fight that made national headlines. Black Mayor Stephen Reed is prepared to hold a news conference on the matter tomorrow. The massive brawl was caught on camera from several angles, but few official details about what led up to it have been released. A new study shows just 1 in 5 adults addicted to opioids get medication to treat it. The National Institute on Drug Abuse and Prevention says white people are much more likely than black people to receive treatment. Experts say the growth of telemedicine appointments can help close these treatment disparities. The Little Mermaid, starring black actress Halle Bailey, is set to hit Disney Plus next month. The live-action adaptation of the classic story will debut on the streaming service on September 6th. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and
KBLA Talk 1580 is dedicated to empowering our communities by providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice for the voiceless. As a Black-owned and operated station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Whether financing is needed to increase working capital, acquire a business, purchase inventory and equipment, or refinance debt, Lendistry has a solution for you. And non-revolving lines of credit to SBA 7A loans and commercial real estate financing. Lendistry's free application process is simple and does not impact your credit score. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more and to get started with an application right from the website.
KBLA Talk 1580 stands for Unity and Healing. African Focus Incorporated is a nonprofit organization based in California that focuses on the growth and well-being of Africans all around the world. Their mission is to promote the well-being of people of African descent through knowledge and appreciation of one another by building a bridge of love and understanding. African Focus Incorporated strives for cultural, educational, and economic growth. They're the organization behind the African Family Induction Ceremony, African Goodwill Awards, African Focus Trailblazer Tours, African Dance Competition, and Showcase Los Angeles, Family Day, Good News Windows Microfinance Project, and more. To volunteer, travel with African Focus, or to attend one of their community building events, please call 310-676-7730. That's 310-676-7300. Or visit AfricanFocus.org. This is a diaspora-wide community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Just roll it, drop it, just roll it, drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less.
We decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan. Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Cause baby, now we got bad blood. You know it used to be mad love. So take a look what you've done. Cause baby, now we got bad blood.
Hey, I can't take it back. Look where I'm at.
Just drove past Swifties on the way in. Over Inglewood at the Kia Forum. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Thank you, VIPs, for checking us out. You know, if you have a comment, we would love to hear from you. Hit us up on the power lines, 800-920-1580. The YouTube chat, always lit. If you're checking us out there on the live stream, they are full of conversation and commentary is there as well, too. So, Jeandra, I know you saw this over the weekend. Jamie Foxx, minding his black business, put out a post on Instagram on Friday about fake friends. And he used language that in the black community, it's no question, it's pretty common what, you know, we say, how we go about talking about those fake friends. So basically, Fox posted an Instagram post that said, they killed this dude named Jesus. They'll do, what do you think they'll do to you, right? And he hashtag fake friends, fake love. Now, everybody knows in the black church, the story of Judas, the analogy of they has nothing to do with Jews, right? Nothing. And if we're going to be technical, I believe the Romans were the ones
absolutely
who killed. Now, I know the Jews.
We won't go too Catholic on
you know, we're supposedly in the mix. Forgive me, I'm not that structured as far as my Bible, but, you know, I just think it was a little off. So Jennifer Aniston, what I gather is that she probably has one of those services hooked up to her Instagram account that likes, you know, popular accounts or whatever, so it looks like she has some engagement, is participating. Saw that she liked this post, and viewing it from her perspective as a white Greek Orthodox woman, and interpreted Jamie's words to mean something else, and somehow this anti-Semitic messaging got brought up into the mix. Really strange thing, but bigger than that, because Jamie ended up apologizing, you know, for the misunderstanding and so forth, which I feel like was a business decision, because he didn't even sort of allude to the fact that, hey, this is something that is common, you know. He just kind of was like, oh, apologize, sorry, kept it moving, which, you know, like I said, I think it was a business decision, because I felt like he didn't have anything to apologize for, and I felt like she overreacted, and just it went to a weird place. What were your thoughts on what happened with this, and do you feel like Jamie should have, just to kind of calm the waters, issued that apology?
I wouldn't have apologized. I would have, if he must say something, because it is Hollywood, he should have just said, I'm talking about Judas, for those who are not paying attention. I just want to know how it even got to the point that Jennifer got so scared. These people in Hollywood got her scared. Somebody sent her a screen. Did they send her a screenshot of her liking the post and attributing it to anti-Semitism, which you said is not correct. Everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon and just, you know, regurgitate the same old rhetoric, the Jews have killed, et cetera, et cetera. Just go back and read the Bible and read the Cliff Notes. You know, go watch Jesus Christ Superstar. Any of those movies, if you want to take the shortcut. That's not what he was referring to. We've all seen The Last Supper, et cetera. We know Judas betrayed him. And it just seems so ridiculous. And it's almost like somebody was waiting, like, ooh, who can we take down this week? And somebody got in Jennifer Aniston's ear and was like, oh, my God, girl, they think you're anti-Semitic. And it was just too much.
And I didn't feel like anyone was really paying attention to it in that manner.
At all.
And then I also wonder, I'm sure they have at least a casual relationship. You couldn't have reached out to him before you went ahead and followed it up with that. I don't know. Maybe that's too much of an expectation. But I really am confused at this juncture when there is more, your first response is to post on social media and not address this person personally. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know. It was an interesting thing. The conversation surrounding it was certainly interesting. And it also brings up an interesting point about African American vernacular, AAVE. Should it be considered, and obviously this is a larger conversation, but should it really be considered more as a dialect, as a form? I think that when you look at things like this that happen and just how it's also interesting how quickly the other side felt that we should be white-centered and we should know that, well, they're going to not understand even though you hashtag fake friends and all of this, and in your culture, community, it means this. They're not even considering that it could be something else,
To what extent do Black people have to keep educating people on everything we do, every move we make? Going back to Jennifer Aniston and Jamie in particular, they've been in movies together.
Have they really?
Yes, they've been in Horrible Bosses together.
That is right. That's
right.
Movies.
So I'm sure she has his
And
number.
she posted a photo with Jamie shortly after, because we know Jamie is coming back from a undisclosed medical condition, and she posted something, I believe, about him, happy that he's being back on the mend, which is my point. Why not just reach out to, hey, what's going on with that post?
Why? Again, like you said, it's a lot of it's white-centered. I don't feel the need to go and when I see certain types of slang to dispel it or have somebody educated on me. I just attribute it to something I don't know. If I'll figure it out, I'll figure it out. Just the timing of this. Jamie just got back. Jamie was out sick, and then all of a sudden there's this big blowout. Are people mad that he had to stop filming a movie? Who knows? It could be all kind of conspiracy. They just sitting waiting for Jamie to do something, and then now we have this. And Jennifer Aniston, of all people, and the way that she got ran down in her comments was, again, more funny stuff this week with Black people and white people. I laughed a lot this week.
Extremely amusing. Jamie does have a movie coming out in a couple of days with he and Will Ferrell, Strays.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe, it was some... I don't think it was an elaborate PR scheme, but I'm just trying to make sense of it.
I love conspiracy theories, though.
You missed it last week. We had a whole conversation with Andy. We went deep on the conspiracy theory trail. Maybe we'll get into that in the 11 o'clock hour, after hours when the velvet ropes come down.
Just sitting back and thinking about this, Jennifer Aniston went out of her way. Jennifer Aniston, arguably one of the biggest movie stars in the world, had to take time out of her day to dispel Jamie Foxx minding his business.
Nobody was looking for it. Nobody had commented. No blogs had said, ooh, Jennifer Aniston likes this, whatever, because everybody assumed that it was just about fake
friends. Who called her? Whoever called her, you're whack.
Right.
Who put all that in motion? Come on. Give me
a
break.
When we come forward, we're going to talk about Wayne Brady and his most recent announcement. We're going to get into what he said and if we really feel that an announcement was necessary under these circumstances. You were checking out RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to Curated, where we play all the best classic water-wasting hits like watering your lawn during the hottest time of the day and leaky faucets. They're tunes from another time because now that we face a hotter, drier future, every drop counts. Despite an extremely wet winter, keep using less water, fixing leaks, and reusing indoor water for your garden. Visit SaveOurWater.com for more ways to conserve. Up next, brushing your teeth with the water on. K-Trip.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's.
Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath. Fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
At Granger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
Hey, you are locked in to KBLA Talk 1580. You are checking out RSVP with Jill Munroe. That is me. I'm joined by TV and film critic Jeandra LeBeauf, and we are hitting up these trending topics and headlines. So earlier this evening, Wayne Brady, actor, host, comedian, all of that, he made an announcement with People magazine, and he opened up about what he calls a long road to self-discovery. And in this journey, his daughter and his ex-wife are really helpful for him moving through this. And basically, Wayne has announced that he is pansexual, right? Short version of that means I like who likes me. Anybody can get it, right? Anybody can get it. So, here's the thing. This is what he said about that. He said, I couldn't say if I was bisexual because I had to really see what that was, especially because I really haven't gotten a chance to act on anything. So I came to pansexual because, and I know that I'm completely messing up the dictionary meaning, but to me, pan means being able to be attracted to anyone who identifies as gay, straight, bi, transsexual, or non-binary. So, one, kudos for him for he and his wife announced their separation or divorce not too long ago, maybe last year, something fairly recently. And I know that the wife got a new boyfriend, but they were co-parenting and they were all living together. So,
Hold on, wait a minute. Don't gloss
over that.
We're going to come back. They were all, the boyfriend, the ex-wife, and Wayne were all living in the same house together? So that they
could co-parent and understand. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. There's something interesting, maybe. We don't know. Just,
They need to be on, like what's the channel that Sister Wives come on? That sounds like a show.
What is it, TLC or something like that?
TLC needs to get involved.
Warner Discovery, there's your new show. But here is my bigger question, right? Because it's like, at this point in 2023, did he really need to announce it?
Right.
I just, to a degree, I understand why. Maybe if he wanted to go out on a date, somebody would have questions, but maybe wait till the questions come. I don't know. It just feels like in 2023, right, after all of the things that we're going to, for me, part of the fight in acceptance for, the LBTQ Community. Did I leave something out?
I know there's some more letters on the end. I think it's IA.
I apologize if I missed a letter. But my point is that I feel that announcements are abnormal in that manner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're just having conversations with your friend or whatever, and it may come out about, your significant other dating, but you don't stand up and say, well, you're a heterosexual, you're cisgender, you aren't sure. And I feel like that does more than what we intend to. I understand the purpose. I'm not like disputing that. I just feel that I don't know if at this point in time it's really, really necessary.
I want people to stop talking to the internet about their personal business. It's too much of that. The sexuality, the relationships, the home life, the families. I get it's all fodder for discussion, and I read it too, just like everybody else. But what really is the point of that? Who's out there that he either is currently dating or wants to date? Are you shooting your shot? Are you hoping somebody sees it? Why not just wait until someone sees you on a date, and then if people care to ask or it blows up into a big media thing, address it then. But it's the whole mic grabbing, hey, everybody, look at me. I am this. It is too much. It's all of this categorization in a society that says we don't want to be categorized, we want to be individuals, except which is it?
And I'm not 100% on this, but if I had to guess, it feels like, again, could be wrong, it feels like he is getting ahead, getting ahead of something. I don't know. But I don't know, and maybe I'm being naive, maybe I'm having a Pollyanna approach, and I'm like, it's fine. We've been through this. We kind of...
Do we care? It seems almost like a little performative.
Exactly.
What are you angling for? Is there some jobs out there you want to let them know, look, I am open to all things, and that's cool. We don't care who you date. I mean, I know I for sure don't care who anybody dates. I don't need an announcement. I'm not going to come in here to KBLA. Hey, KBLA, I got a boyfriend now. I mean, come on.
And that's my feeling. I just feel that as if when you are trying to normalize something, then you should interact with it or move in the regular way, because that is how, in my mind, acceptance comes about, and you go about to just accepting it as part of the flow. You just interact with it as you would with anything else.
Maybe it's a matter of just wanting someone, wanting attention. There's a lot of people who are, there's still all of the fallout from COVID and all those things, and people who are still suffering from that. Maybe he's feeling like he's not getting enough attention.
You think Wayne is the type of guy that needs more attention?
Is Wayne Brady going to have to choke it? No, I'm just kidding. I mean, look what he does. He's a comedian. Of course. He needs attention.
Great point.
I saw him, didn't he speak at AFCA? When we were at the luncheon, wasn't he a presenter
last summer at the AFCA TV Awards? He certainly was.
And I'm trying to remember the last thing that I've seen him in, and he's wildly talented. I enjoy Whose Line Is It Anyway? He's really, really funny. But what's popping right now? Is this to jumpstart the conversation? I don't know. Maybe Ryan Murphy, all the people who cast these shows that are at P-Valley. What's up? What's up? Is he trying to get cast? I'm just trying to find out what's going on. It's given very performative to me.
Well, shout out to them. Pretty Brown Mimi in the chat says, I'm so focused on my non-existent love life to be concerned about Wayne Brady's love life. I hear that. Beagle47 says, let Wayne be Wayne. His Chappelle show remains hysterical regardless, right? It does, and that is my point. I am not critiquing Wayne for his choice or who he is choosing to be involved with, to love, to date. My question is simply, did you need to announce it? Mm-hmm. And it's not in a hostile way. It's not in an angry way. I just feel like at this point,
who cares?
Who cares? And I don't know if hey, I am experimenting with my sexuality, or hey, I've always held myself back and now I want to explore this aspect of me. I don't know if we need that as an audience.
Do you live in your truth? I'm all for anybody living in their truth. You don't have to tell me. you know what? I'm going to find out when I'm supposed to know. I'm on a need-to-know basis. We're all on a need-to-know basis, and I don't know that we needed to know that.
Yeah, and I think I just feel like, you know, you're good money, and would you have announced, hey, I got a new girlfriend now?
You know, we could go back down to the power dynamics of Hollywood and the shift that's going on in Hollywood. Is this to get an alignment with certain priorities in Hollywood? I don't know. I just didn't think a whole press release was necessary. I'm glad Wayne is happy. If this is what happiness looks like for him, yay, Wayne. But we didn't need to know.
100 with that. Well, shout out to Wayne. Shout out to anyone who is, you know, making different decisions in their life at no matter what age, and, you know, might be.
I want to make an announcement. I have an announcement. I'm probably going to go to sleep at some point tonight. I just want to announce to anybody who was wondering.
You're just sharing that.
I just wanted everyone to know.
I mean, representation is still important, and
exactly.
Sometimes, you know, maybe he feels better. So, and maybe he just didn't. I still think maybe, you know, he's trying to avoid TMZ is quick.
They are. Everybody is quick. Everyone is TMZ. You know, it's amazing to me. That's a whole, you know, not to go off too far in the weeds, that TMZ still manages to be an industry leader when so many people are nosy and everyone has a camera phone and all of these things and the ability to post it on the internet. It used to be you had to send it to someone to get it to the broader range. You land in the right algorithm like on TikTok, you could be TMZ. You don't even need them anymore.
But here's the thing, the reason why TMZ will continue to thrive. One, Harvey's a lawyer,
yes.
So they can legally know how they can move and add ownership and whatever. Others can't. They're already in the distribution pipeline, so they can get it to you hot and ready. And three, I think that too, people like to hear a perspective. So I think it's already there. You know, they'll continue to swoosh around, but there's someone that's like, you know what? I need to hear exactly from Harvey on this topic.
I'm a lawyer.
So when we come forward, we are going to discuss Paul George. He says that the Clippers are treated differently in L.A. Wow. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk a little bit about Bethany Frankel, and she is suing NBC Universal and getting more reality stars involved for depraved mistreatment. And is alleging mental health and sexual exploitation. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get into Kai Cent, the TikToker and Twitch and YouTube streamer who caused an almost riot in New York, and more trending topics and headlines. All of that when we come forward. You are listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Got money and rock, and you gotta live with the bad blood now. It's so sad to think about the good times you and I. 'Cause baby, now we got bad blood. You know we used to be mad love. So take a look what you've done. 'Cause baby, now we got bad blood.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. In Alabama, more